and Connor McDavid put on quite a show at the Skills Challenge.
Yeah.
Joining us now was the show, the man on the microphone. We need him on the microphone more. Ladies and gentlemen, ESPN NHL analyst, guy who played in the league for
14.
Ladies, PK Subban.
Yeah, PK!
PK,
Let's go!
Looks like you got those glasses straight out the drip oven there, pal. You look amazing, obviously. Fresh out of All-Star weekend. Think it was a smashing success for the NHL. That's how I view it. Is that how you see it as well?
It was, first of all, not only a success for the NHL and for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but the city of Toronto. It was unbelievable. The city had a buzz. Being someone who's from Toronto, born and raised, grew up there, the buzz in the city is like no other. The only time that I can compare a buzz in Toronto would have been when the Raptors won the championship. That's the only time I've ever seen the city with that much of a buzz. It was truly a huge step for the NHL, to putting themselves amongst the other leagues, sports leagues out there in terms of what we could do with events. I think we took a giant step forward.
Weeksy was standing in front of Sidney Crosby in the opening piece. I think that was the only misstep potentially by anybody in that. Connor McDavid, though, seemingly put that thing on his back and really wanted to put on a show. Is that how you saw it as well?
He was remarkable. All the players were remarkable. I know we talk about Nikita Kucherov, but he was awesome in the game as well. All the players were great, but Connor McDavid, I mean, if there was any doubt in anybody's mind that this guy is the most talented, skilled, and best player probably to ever play the game, he put all of that criticism to rest this weekend. He not only was he the best player at the Skills, but it wasn't even close. Like, this guy dominated in any facet, and he wanted to show that. Being a guy from the GTA, not only the world's greatest hockey player, but being in his hometown, that's what you get. And he showed up, represented the NHL exactly the way he was supposed to. He was phenomenal.
Go ahead, AJ.
PK, is there any events you think that they're missing out on that they're not doing, possibly that you would like to see in some of these skills challenge or something? Maybe a little physicality between the boys or something? Like, what would you like to see?
Fight.
Well, I mean, first of all, if you're not going to bump a little bit with $1 million on the line, either A, in an event or in the game, that's on you. I would definitely throw an elbow for sure in the corner, 100%. I'd bump somebody off the puck. But I'll tell you, with the event, the feeling for me down by the ice and in the locker room was that this was the best skills event, top to bottom, that the NHL's ever put on. I don't think, A, I've never been a part of something as balanced as this one, but B, people were just engaged the whole time. The players were engaged. Players wanted to talk about the events. We were breaking them down, talking about exactly why we do this event and why this skill is important. Like, it just touched on every possible skill that you need to be an elite hockey player. And any player will tell you, none of those events were easy. The one that Connor McDavid dominated at, you saw, there were guys that took a while to get the passes into the net. Connor makes everything look easy, but this was by far the best skills event. It would be interesting to ask the players and get more feedback on, like, hey, guys, if you were weighing in, what would you change? But nobody had any criticism for it. I thought it was perfectly done by the NHL. Honestly, the All-Star games have always been tough. This was an easy one for us.
The NFL had a good Pro Bowl weekend, seemingly. The NHL had a great All-Star weekend. This is good news. Also good news, I saw Sidney Crosby, did some media, was there. This hasn't been something he's been accustomed to doing. Feels like everybody's buying in, PK.
One of the coolest things for me being down on the ice during All-Star, and I'm sure for the fans watching, because I had fans that, wanted to know what was going on the ice, was Sidney Crosby and Connor Bedard being together pretty much the whole time during the skills. It was just so cool to watch. And, I know people will talk about this and say this and that about how much I admire Sidney Crosby, but it's the little things that he does, taking the time. Connor Bedard will never, even though he never competed in an event, I'm sure he'll never forget that. Sitting with Sidney Crosby, taking him under his wing, Crosby talking to him the whole time, making him feel comfortable. And just that's what Sid does. He's just a natural leader. So for him to be there, even though he didn't, he wasn't competing in everything and he wasn't at the forefront of it, he just has such a presence in so many different ways. And that's why he's one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Who's that Canadian Frank? What was that thing's name? Frank what? Frankie, the guy that talks shit on Sidney?
Oh, Saravelli.
Yeah, that guy. Tell him to shove
What did he
it.
say?
PK, tell him he needs to just go ahead and keep his trap shut when he's talking about Sidney Crosby, okay?
Listen. I only listen to your show.
Okay.
I don't really listen to everything else going on, to be honest with you.
Well, he just basically talked about how Sid was rubbing it in everybody's face, how he wasn't there for the draft, and he was skating in Montana. He went to a wolf conservatory out there, and he missed
Hey,
it.
hold on. As far as I'm concerned, Sidney Crosby can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, agreed,
That guy,
Frank.
Like everybody, no. And whether it's Frank Saravelli, whoever, I don't want to hear it.
Me neither.
Crosby, you could argue, like everybody says Michael Jordan, you can argue that there was nobody ever better at a job than Michael Jordan. Like, you could almost make the same argument for Sidney Crosby. He has been literally perfect his whole career. Let him do what he wants to do. If that's what he needs to do, go let him do it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, he wanted to see a couple Wolves, okay? Sue him, Frank. All right, the guy's been playing for 40 years in the NHL. Speaking of Franks, Frank Maraldo has a question for you, PK.
PK, in years past, NHL's received a lot of criticism for not showing off the guys enough, not, giving them the full picture in terms of what it is as a hockey player and the lifestyle they lead. They did the skills competition years past. Everyone still likes it, but it kind of lost its luster, even though they let the players dress up for the breakaways and do some other things. This year, they did away with all that. They went to Connor McDavid. They said, hey, can you help us redesign this thing? Then he goes out and wins $1 million. You said everybody loved it. Do you still think it's a good idea with the way they're doing it, instead of promoting the guys and the flashy personalities and everything, and just showing the skill, showing these guys why they're great with the actual hockey skill?
Well, I'll tell you, no matter as great as Connor McDavid was, and as great as Austin Matthews was, and McKinnon, the best performance of the weekend was Tate McRae. I think everybody would agree with that.
Yep.
Justin Bieber being there, Will Arnett. You guys can laugh and giggle. I'm being honest. Everybody was on that stage watching that performance. And what I mean by this, there's a point to what I'm saying. Is great. The hockey fans are always going to want to see the best skill and the talent on the ice. But we also want to bring new fans into the game, and there's an entertainment factor to that. And having Tate McRae perform, having Will Arnett there, Justin Bieber, this was the best event all in. Bublé, all in.
Hey, he was tripping balls. PK, did you see Bublé when he was tripping balls?
Allegedly, great word to use. Allegedly he was. I can't confirm that. I can't confirm it. I can't deny it. So I'll let him speak on that. But allegedly he was in one. Yes.
PK, you're the man. Okay. Thank you for joining us. You crushed it this weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Rangers game tonight. I'll be there. Big game tonight, but I can't wait to come back on. Let's do it soon.
You got it. Ladies and gentlemen, PK Subban. Yeah, here's Michael Bublé from the All-Star game basically saying, yeah, I'm on mushrooms right now, tripping balls.
The answer is no. I will not be the oldest draft pick the Vancouver Canucks have ever taken at 48 years old. I know you and you. You're a really good hockey. You got good hands, dude. You've got silky mitts, my brother.
You are the first person who's ever told me that.
Because I'm the first real ever hockey fan. My buddy told me this is just a microdose of mushrooms, and he was lying. So, I'll be honest, I thought I was in Blades of Glory for most of the time that I was out there, until it sort of settled down, and then I realized, holy I am at the NHL All-Star Game. We literally are the heart and soul of these teams. And if they win, it'll be because of us. And if they lose, it will be because of us. All of my text, it was people, congratulations on being chosen to go to the All-Star Game. And I was like, congratulations, I'm a superstar. Thanks, guys, thank you.
Legend. Legend.
Hey, Bublé, thank you, buddy.
I was listening to Bublé all weekend because of that.
I wasn't the biggest Bublé fan. I know around Christmas he shows up with the silky voice.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
He's obviously awesome, and everybody enjoys him. I watched that press conference. Bublé, you got a fan in me, pal.
Amen.
Yes.
If you have one fan, it's me.
Then his publicist had to try to make him walk it back.
I eat bread, he said. I don't do mushrooms. All right. Hey, Boobs, we love you, bub.
Love you, Boobs. Love you, Boobs.
Appreciate you, Boobs, for representing the All-Star game. Had a phenomenal weekend.